Welcome to Collaborative Connections podcast, sponsored by KLM Consulting, Marketing, and Management. This podcast is designed for small business owners and entrepreneurs looking to grow, streamline, and succeed. I'm your host, Kelly Lorenzen, and I'm a business owner and passionate advocate for small and family-owned businesses. Running a business can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. On this show, we bring together industry experts, fellow entrepreneurs, and thought leaders to share insights, strategies, and real-life success stories. From marketing and business operations to building powerful partnerships, we cover the tools and tactics that help small businesses thrive. So whether you're launching, scaling, or looking for fresh ideas, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode and start building something amazing together. Well, I'm excited to have two amazing business owners on with me today, and I want each of them to introduce themselves so you get to know a little bit about their background and the businesses that they own, so you know why I had them on to share all of their knowledge and pour into newer business owners to hope and help the community and all of us grow together. So welcome to the show, Dr. Vegula. Nice to have you on.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it. A little bit about me. I've been in the medical space for almost 25 years. I specialize in the outpatient treatment of varicose veins and lymphatic disease. I used to be a C-level suite executive for a large national group that oversaw clinics, 60 clinics in 15 states. And most recently, I decided that it was time to start my own endeavor, a smaller practice where I could spend more time with my patients. And I'm recently the CEO and founder of Vein and Wellness Centers of Texas, where we specialize in the outpatient treatment of venous and lymphatic disease. And my partner, Dr. Brooks, specializes in wellness, which includes weight loss, peptides, supplements, microtoxin identification and detoxification, as well as other wellness-related items. And I'm also the president of the American Vein and Lymphatic Society, the largest organization of providers specializing in the treatment of venous and lymphatic disease.
That's a whole lot to do in one day. We'll get into how you juggle all those things, right? And how you make choices about who you spend your time with and how you divvy up your time in a little bit. Thank you so much for the introduction. And next, my guest, Rob, or Sharky, as I know him, Ashmore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm Sharky Ashmore. I'm the president of UMG Advertising. I have over 35 years experience in media, creative, and national campaigns. Also, I'm the managing partner for Texas Mobile Wound Care, which is a wound care providing service. Our teams go out and see patients in their homes, and we've been doing that now for 2 years.
Yeah, well, now you know why I combined you guys together on the show. My family owned a medical practice specializing in veins, so I am very familiar with the work that both of you do. It's very necessary. So many people are suffering from it. What are the new stats these days for venous disease and ulcers? What are in the U.S.? Millions.
So let me speak to the incidence of vein disease. It's the prevalence on the conservative side says about 40 million Americans are affected by some sort of vein disease. And some of the studies say it could be upwards of 80 to 90 million people. You might have heard most recently on the news that President Trump, like him or not, was recently diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. Chronic venous insufficiency is just a fancy term for vein disease. It means you have an underlying problem with your veins, which are contributing to the health issues that he was having.
And then if you wait too long, then you get the ulcers and the wounds that Sharky and his team see. So it's always good. Preventative care, right, is always the best medicine. So I'm going to jump right in. That was a total side note from our background in vein days. quick rapid fire just to get your juices flowing. Tell me a business tool that you use every day that you can't live without. Satish, start with you.
Yeah, I love spreadsheets. So Excel, I mean, I think that any interaction you have creating a spreadsheet and finding a way to organize it where you can quickly go to the data and track it is important, because when it comes to running a business, you can make a lot of assumptions, but the data will tell you everything you need to know. And that really paths the trajectory for whether you can be successful or not successful.
On my business tools, it's the phone. I mean, right here. Since we've started this, it's already vibrated 3 times. So this goes off constantly. For patients and or clients, you have to be available at a moment's notice. You can't not take a phone call. I take calls up to around 10:30 at night, sometimes past that, because in media, we're buying around the country. So we're buying from California all the way to Florida. With patients, some people get a little nervous at night. They may be in pain, and they just want a soft voice to talk to. So I give every one of our patients, which we had over 200 of them, every one of them has my personal cell. And so they're able to call me at any time. And even on the weekends, I think it's real important that you're there, like I said, just for a soft voice to say it's going to be okay, or let me find out how I can help you more. And that's extremely important, I think, in medicine.
Yeah.
And I would reiterate that, Sharky, I give my cell phone number to all my patients, because if they're having any kind of issue, regardless of what time of day or night, I want them to text me, and then call me if they need to, because oftentimes it's just a simple phone call can deal with any issues that they might have. And a lot of people often ask, well, aren't you afraid that they're just going to keep calling you? What I find is that patients are very respectful of your time. And if you're willing to be open with them, they do not take advantage of it at all. And I think it's just a great way to do business and treat everyone like their family.
And I agree with you completely. I mean, I've been out to so many patients' homes, gotten so many thank you notes from patients once we've healed them. They're so appreciative. I have one lady that over a year ago, we healed her. She calls me like clockwork every Friday between 3 and 5 just to see how my week was. And I want to know how her day was. And so it just makes you feel so good when, you've got that personal relationship with patients. So media, thank goodness, doesn't call me at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's a different story. You have to have boundaries.
No. They're calling me at 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's what boundaries are for. Any favorite book or podcast on business?
So I don't know if it's business per se, but I think it's more about lifestyle. It's the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. It talks about, setting a routine where you can utilize your mornings and starting your day off right, where you're on track and focused from the very beginning, and taking advantage of that time where oftentimes people are still sleeping and you're getting a jump on the day. So it's been very, very helpful for me.
Oh, I love that. Sharky, what about you?
Mine's The Millionaire Mindset by Myers. So what it does is it tells you to write down the goals, write down the objectives. And once again, I'm in 2 completely different businesses. One is arguing, putting campaigns together, thinking outside the box. The other one is true patient care and making sure that that person is healed. So what Myers says is you're going to rub people the wrong way. You're just going to do it. So when you're in the advertising mode, you don't want to take the advertising mode over to the wound care mode, because it's in the media, it's a little hostile, and we deal with hostility all the time. You're buying a piece of air, and that piece of air one day could be $5, one day could be $500. With patients, I like the wound care side for Texas Mobile, because it's more cut and dry. You know exactly what needs to be done. You know exactly what the pricing is. You know exactly how to handle that. And with UMG, it's all over the board. I mean, I literally run a circus on one side and a nice, comfortable medical practice on the other. So I've been called Barnum and Bailey before, and I've been called a lot worse than that. So it doesn't really matter.
It's not the worst thing you could be called.
Yes. Sharky's a polite way of my nickname. I got that when I was in New York, the way I took care of media out there. So it stuck with me since I was 22 years old. Long time ago. Doc, don't we wish we were 22 again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. so much less responsibility.
Well, there is some good stuff in the wellness side that can been shown to increase your telomeres and increase longevity. So
I'll take it.
When you're ready, we'll hook you up.
So you want me to argue longer into my life? Is that what you want me to do?
You have a lot to offer.
I'm gonna have to come see you. I'm coming to see Sharky in Dallas, so I'll have to come and have an appointment with you too.
Oh, absolutely. Love to see you.
What do you like to do for fun?
So my fun revolves around my kids and my family. So I have got 12-year-old twins that are soon to be 13. They're both busy in their respective sports. When I was in my prior life as a C-level executive, I found that and also a practicing physician, I was working way too much. I was never around. So my enjoyment is being able to be there for them, to practice their sports with them, to be able to go to their practices, their games, and then being able to spend time as a family at nights and on weekends and just enjoying that time while I can.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Sharky?
Spending time with my wife. We rescue animals. So we've got cats, and they have personalities that I know they can understand English, and they do. But I also like to cook. And so I like to rifle through cookbooks at a pretty rapid rate. And so I'll be cooking all weekend. The refrigerator will be full of everything. And then my wife says, we have to give it away. So we have families we give food away to every weekend. So I really enjoy it.
That is really nice. Really nice. It's always good to give back, right? Doesn't it? It brings full circle. I feel like it's part of how I grew up. Every year we would go down to South America and Central America and do volunteer work down there, and it just stuck with me. And so now when I'm not on a board or I'm not donating money or time, it's something's wrong. Something doesn't feel right. So I think it's really nice to
for the last year, I made a commitment for 1 year. I actually cooked at the homeless shelter every Saturday from 7 a.m. to noon. And that was something I had never done before, but it was an opportunity, and it opened your eyes. Yeah. Because people look at homeless people and they're just like, they don't want to make eye contact. A lot of these people are just down on their luck, and they really are. And so it really made me feel good to be able to give back in some way, shape, or form.
That's great. Great. Well, we're going to move on to industry insights. You guys have both been business owners. I want to provide some value to listeners. So I'd love to see in your industry moving from public to private practice. How has that what's the difference, right? For business owners thinking of, or they're like, I want to be a business owner, but I'm not sure, can you kind of walk us through that jump and how you made the decision and what you think now?
Yeah. So I think it's not for the weak of heart. You have to believe in what you're doing, right? So I went from where I helped start up clinics, but the funding came from somewhere else. It was never my own money when we were starting it up, right? So I wasn't worried about whether I was getting a paycheck or not. But now when you start something for yourself, everything you do is dependent on the outcomes that you create. And so you have to have a plan. You have to have a vision. You have to be clear about what you want to accomplish, and you have to believe that you're going to accomplish what you want. But the benefits are tremendous. I mean, the amount of time that I'm able to spend with my patients is dictated by me, not by someone else, right? I can spend as much time or as little time as I need to with my patients based on what they need. We create an environment in our office where, people comment on that it's just a different feel. They feel very comfortable when they come in, and that's what we want. They're trusting us with their health issues, and our job is to be there for them and be a part of the solution for them, and to make them feel comfortable in what we offer them and what we can do for them. So I think vision is very important. And I think that, the book Millionaire Mindset, I think, Sharky, what you're saying about having clear goals, having clear vision, you need to have that. You need to be focused, laser focused from 5 a.m. in the morning, moving forward and getting everything done. But it also gives you the flexibility to do it the way you want and set the tone and the character for what you want to accomplish with and the message you want to have for your patients or for your customers, whoever they are, but making sure that you can do it in a way that you go home and you feel good about it at the end of the day.
I love that. I think it's really important for business owners to know that they can build their business around their life, and the other way around, building your business to fit in, into how exactly you want to do things. And I hear that being in corporate or non-business ownership, because I've been a business owner my whole adult life, is you don't get to make those decisions. So I guess I'm unhireable. I'll never be able to go work for somebody. Oh, no, thank you. Sharky, what about you?
I think one thing, Doc, you forgot was passion. It's all about the passion. You have to love what you do.
Yeah.
It starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. But if you don't have a dream, if you don't have the bad dreams where you're afraid of failing, or you fail in your dream, you wake up in a cold sweat and you're like, okay, what just happened? And you want to forget about it, shake it off. But it's about doing your research also. So with UMG advertising on that, we're constantly pivoting. There's not a round peg for a round hole. Different clients are looking for different things, depending on what their successes have been or where they're looking to be successful. With Texas Mobile, on the other hand, we know exactly what that goal is. That goal is to close that wound as quickly as possible and discharge that patient. I mean, that's the exciting part. When you can discharge the patient, they don't have any wounds, that is the ultimate goal there. But when I'm talking about research things, I have, in the advertising side, I have never met a network that doesn't say they're number one. Everybody says they're number one. And so you have to weed through all the BS to get to the real facts, which are your marketing reports, which are your strata reports, to see exactly, okay, this is where that demographic population is watching the most, and this is where the ad dollars need to go. That's it. In the wound care side, here in Dallas, Fort Worth, there's over 200 mobile wound care companies. I mean, they're everywhere. They're popping up literally daily in this market. So when you take care of the patient and you're passionate about that and you heal that patient, that referral source that sent it to you is going to keep sending to you and keep taking care of you. And so completely different mindset on both, but guess what? They all work together. So it works out well.
And as long as you have your passion and research and and the structure, right, you're good to go.
And the temperament.
And the temperament.
Which tends to get a little loud on the ad side and very quiet on the wound care side.
It's probably good for your brain to go back and forth between the two.
I don't know. My wife told me I have 3 monkeys and a toy up there. So
So diving into the journey of business ownership, success challenges, key lessons learned, what's something that your 10-year-old self would be proud of that you accomplished so far in your life, Dr. Bayabagula?
Yeah, I think that, I've kind of had an interesting journey. I never thought I'd be a businessman when I went into medicine, but having been on the executive team, having seen what that is, having other opportunities to say no to that after I stepped down from that role, is something that I never saw myself, but it taught me a lot. The lessons I learned about business in there were great. And then, while I always talked about, hey, I should maybe do this on my own at some time, taking that plunge and just saying, okay, now's time to do it. And we're going to just go full bore, and we have a vision, we have a dream, we're going to make it happen. And we're in the middle of it right now. Some days are better than others, but everything is looking in the right direction. And ultimately we know that where we want to be in 5 years. And I think that looking back, my 10-year-old self would be very proud of the lessons that I've learned in business, the failures, the successes, and getting us to where we are now.
That's right. Sharky, what about you?
I think my 10-year-old self, I've always, my mother used to have to pull me away from the television. I could memorize ads and campaigns and things when I was very young. And I was actually writing ads when I was 11 years old in school. My first project was with Wild Turkey. You had to come up with an ad campaign, and I actually wrote to Wild Turkey and got all that. Now, that was way back. I mean, a kid nowadays wouldn't do that, but I did it just because I had an uncle that liked Wild Turkey. So I wrote to them and actually wrote a small little ad campaign. I was the only one in school that actually wrote a liquor campaign at that age, but I always wanted to be in the advertising business. So I fulfilled my dream, and my 10-year-old self would have been happy about that. When it came to the medicine side, I've represented so many physicians and large medical groups over the years that I felt like I was ready. And really, it's about patient care, and see that comes secondary because client care is the same as patient care. If you're there for the client, you're there for the patient. And so it was pretty an easy transition. Of course, all my nurse practitioners and RNs and medical doctors, they're of that clinical mindset. I'm of the mindset, and Chris Duffy's not on the call not on the Zoomer right now for this, but he gets on me. He's like, "Why are you talking to patients all the time?" Well, because it's just. He goes, "You have a life." I said, "I know. It's work." It's work. So my 10-year-old self would be happy about this. Yeah. I'm in a happy place, and that's all that matters.
That's great.
And just to add, I guess, one other part that I Bill mentioned with the 10-year-old self would be happy about the contributions I've made to the venous space as a whole, and being a part of the American Vein Lymphatic Society, being the president. We've had some difficult financial years, but we've brought them through that and continuing to drive the mission of education for patients as well as providers, and making sure that the field is continually recognized, continues to grow, given the amount of people that are suffering from venous and lymphatic disease in the country, and the number of providers that still need to recruit and train to be able to treat all these patients moving forward.
Mm-hmm. That was my dad was the president at one point, and before it was called that, and he really loved the keeping, like leveling up the patient care, like just making sure that leveled up, to train the new people, to make sure that they had that, had the training for that. If you could go back, in look at the lessons, what's a lesson you learned the hard way that you wish you knew sooner?
Yeah, that's a good question. don't take anything for granted, right? And what I mean by that is, I had this position, had a great clinic, and we had a change in the CEO, which immediately started a downward spiral within a couple of years, and the company was in a complete different situation. So never take for granted the situation that you're in, and always remember to have options. Keep your eyes open, look forward, look across the horizon, making sure you know what's coming down the pipeline, right? You want to know, is there a storm coming, what's happening in the industry. No one could have predicted the pandemic that we had. But having the ability to continue to look forward, saying, okay, this happened, let's see what we can do to make it better. How do we continually adapt? And I think you have to keep your eyes open and always look forward and never get complacent.
Really good, really good lessons.
I think one thing that I've learned when I was younger, chasing that brass ring and going too fast. When you go too fast, you're going to make so many mistakes. And you're right, Doc, understanding the market trends. When I first got into this business, we were faxing orders through a fax machine in the advertising business. We were hand drawing campaigns. We were doing all this stuff. And then, of course, now we're doing things with AI. We're seeing AI put a complete campaign together in minutes. Now, is it something that works? In some respects, it gives you a different feel for it. But you got to slow down. You got to slow down. You got to understand what your limitations are, and then what you do is you pivot and you adapt. So the advertising business moves a mile a minute. Literally, things change all the time. Understand the newspaper. They used to be one of the biggest mediums. Nobody puts an ad in the newspaper. The yellow pages used to be this big. Now it's this big. No one puts an ad in there either. But when I first got into business back in the 90s, that's where a big amount of media was. And TV was always considered something that was too expensive. Now TV is so inexpensive because you've got 9,000 channels and you're able to narrow down that demographic, and actually you're able to hit that person where you weren't able to hit them before. Back when I started, it was a shotgun approach. Now it's a bullet, and you know exactly who you're going to hit. In the wound care space, we've gone very slow. We've been very methodical. We haven't sped up at all. There's been chances that we could have taken, knowing that if we took that chance, now you have people's licenses that could be on the line. So you don't take those chances. You don't take it unless it's a clear path with no problems, no issues, nothing at all, then you move forward. So medical is, in respect, the problems that I've had in the advertising business have actually transformed over to the medical business to make me slow down even more.
That's great. Yeah. Take your time, slow down, do your research. I like all these lessons. One of mine was surround yourself with people smarter than you. I used to always do everything myself and, think that nobody else could do it better than me. I learned, luckily, going into this business that I just hired all the people that were smarter than me to do stuff that I wasn't great at. And it just has made all the difference in the world. So,
and what's amazing is when you put your ego on the shelf, and you have the people around you, you're not dictating what to do. You're waiting for people to do it, and then you evaluate it.
Yeah.
The other part is don't forget to ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's part of goes along with checking your ego, right? If when you're struggling, or if you're not able to figure something out, or there's something that you're just not quite understanding, ask for help. Find the resources in your industry. Find colleagues. Find working groups that you can work with that will give you some insight, and make sure you listen and try different things. But that's really important.
Yeah, entrepreneurship shouldn't be, you shouldn't be in a silo, right? You should always surround yourself with community. I tell clients, make sure you're a part of 3 things, 3 organizations, nonprofit, networking groups, something. Like, pick your groups, your masterminds, people you can lean on when you need help, when you have questions, when you're struggling with something. Don't do this alone. Just like they say, having kids is like, have a village. It's the same thing in entrepreneurship. I say, like, you need a village. we need all the help we can get. Is there a piece of advice that has stuck with you over the years to help in your success?
Yeah, I think especially in healthcare, our motto is to treat our patients like they're our family, and we like our family, so that's a good thing, right? But if you do the right thing, you treat the patient the right way, you build a trust with them, and they appreciate what you did. Over time, that will build, right? You can't replace that trust and that you build with that patient. And when you start to cut corners, or you stop listening, or you rush through things, then that falls apart. And so again, I think, treat the patients like you would treat your family, and the rest will happen. It's almost like, in Field of Dreams, they said, you build it, they will come. I think if you build the trust, they will come.
Yeah, I love that. Sharky, what about you?
For me, you're exactly right. If you build it, they will come. And once again, when you're younger, you're rolling through. You're going as fast as you can. You don't have clients that stay for the longevity, for the years. Now, we have clients that have been with us for 5, 10, 12 years. And it's because you take care of that client. And that's what, one of the network executives with ABC told me. He said, you're different now, because he's older. You're different now than you were 20 years ago. And he knew me when I was in New York. He said, you're a lot different now. I see a completely different person, other than the fact that I've lost hair. But your attitude is different. You actually listen before you speak. And I think that's real important in business, is to listen to everything before you say anything. Don't assume, because it makes an ass out of you and me. And that's something I've always stuck with me.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good motto. Is there a person that's been influential, or the most influential person in your business journey?
Yeah, for me, it would be one of my CEOs when I was at Bain Clinics America, that brought me into the executive team, Hans Tunum. What was great about him is he'd had a lot of experience. He'd worked in different sectors. He came in, but he showed us how to build a team and how to lean on each other to help each other, that our success was intertwined and that we were going to be successful together. And it wasn't about I, it was about we, and how do we make this place a better place. And so the teamwork and how to build a team and how you function together was something that was invaluable to me.
Yeah, that has helped me tremendously. I totally agree with you. What about you, Sharky? Most influential person?
I've got a couple of people that have been in my life, one with the network. Another one that is relevant over the past 2 years is Chris Duffy. I haven't always been the perfect patient, let's say, as a managing partner, and Chris has wrangled me in. And Duffy, I have every bit of respect in the world for Chris Duffy. He is an amazing businessman. He's owned multiple surgery centers, medical. He's been in the business for 30 years. And he's got the temperament that I wish I had with business. But since I have to split my brain between crazy and Normal over here, he wrangles me in. We wouldn't be successful at Texas Mobile Wound Care without Chris Duffy. We just wouldn't.
That's
He means
fantastic.
everything in the world to me. He really does.
It's really good when you can land a partner like that.
He's an amazing human being. And like I said, he's been through it all on the medical side, because the medical side has got so many different pitfalls that I would have never thought of. And I'll give you an example. Today, we had a major company. Their vice president came in here, and they want to put us our logo on their marketing materials. Well, as an advertiser guy, I'm like, let's do it. And they're like, we're doing it. And this is a Fortune 500 company that wants to put our logo on their stuff here in Texas. I called Chris, all excited, and what did he say to me? Hold on, back up. Let's talk about this, because you've got to be careful so it doesn't look like this or this or this.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that in the advertising side, because with us, I don't mind plastering a billboard or a sign on anything. I mean, we've done some crazy stuff, but in medical, completely different. So Chris Duffy is probably he is the most influential person.
That's great. It's really great to have somebody like that. I've been lucky. Every business partner, well, most of it's family, but even my first business partner, my first business was really, I think you kind of put out there what you want, right? The more you put out there in the world what you're looking for and project, I think the more you get back. For sure. Tell me about collaboration. We are on Collaborative Connections podcast. Tell me about a networking group or community or organization that's helped you grow your business in the last, however many years.
Yeah. So one of the things coming from a large group going to a smaller group is, the larger groups in the medical field have certain benefits when it comes to purchasing, when it comes to negotiations with vendors, contracts, other things that smaller individual practices don't have. And in the vein space, that was very prominent. There was huge, the reimbursement continues to decrease in medicine. That's just the way it is. So at a national level, we're involved in advocacy, working with senators and congressmen, trying to get bills that continue to stop the cuts for physicians. So that's one thing from a national level with the American Vein Lymphatic Society that I work on. But as an independent practice owner, we need to find ways to continue to offset the margins that are continuing to be cut at. And so one of the things that I've joined is something called the Health Performance Specialists. It's a management service organization created out of Florida, where we have a bunch of individual vein practices that have come together, and we have negotiated as a group to get better pricing equivalent to what some of the big boys, so to speak, have gotten. So we're able to compete at a level that we weren't able to before. So this group has been very helpful in terms of we're all of us working together. We meet twice a year at a round table where we get together and talk about strategies, and being able to have a positive impact on the bottom line and be able to provide the level of care that we want to provide, and not being cut out of the pricing that some of the bigger corporations are able to get.
That's great. What's the name of that organization?
It's called HPS, Health Performance Specialists.
And more are other different kinds of providers?
This is one specifically for all vein and lymphatic providers.
Okay, good.
Yes.
But also lymphatics.
Yeah, mostly veins, but some people do some lymphatic, and it's open to them. But for the most part, it started off as a group of vein providers, independent practice providers coming together.
Yeah, that's great. It's really great when you can combine like that and get the same pricing and stuff like that. Sharky, what about you? Any organizations or power partners or?
Yeah, well, what we have is we've got the East Texas Marketing Group, which is 21 of us. And so that's one group that I'm a part of. The other one is the West Texas Marketing Group, and that's got over 35 people. So we're constantly talking about networking events, going to networking events, everybody is on this thread. And so it helps with referrals because we can't take maybe a patient that's 6 hours away, but part of the West Texas marketing group, we have someone down there that can. So if we get a referral here, I put it into the thread, bam, somebody else gets a referral. They reciprocate back and forth. So it's worked out very well for us. And Doc, talking about pricing and things with 3D Health Partners, we are a part of a group that includes Virginia, the Gulf Coast, Houston, San Antonio. If we went out and tried to get things as a one-off, we wouldn't be getting the discounts that we're getting. And that winds me back to Chris Duffy, who is the president of 3D Health Group, Health Partners. And so they've done a tremendous job in putting us all together. And we're a major player now, nationwide, because of all these different groups that are involved. So you're right. If you try to do it on your own, you're climbing an uphill battle. You're climbing an uphill battle. But if you have other partners, other groups out there that are all entwined, and you all have the same ideal and laser focused when it comes to that pricing drops dramatically.
Yeah, it makes all the difference for small businesses and family-owned businesses. We don't have the budgets that the big boys do, right? So we need all the help we can get. There's organizations here locally in Arizona, Local First Arizona, Tempe Chamber of Commerce are very helpful in that. If you're a part of this organization, you get the better pricing. So I think it's worth small businesses to look and research and be a part of other groups so that you get that, those better deals and community.
Yeah, I want to say this too. When you're part of these groups, you can share ideas. Yep. And so I'm learning every day. We're all learning every day. So, when you're younger, you're thinking, someone's going to steal my idea. When you get older and you're more seasoned, you understand that telling your ideas and someone else telling you theirs, okay, you can mesh those together. Mm-hmm. And guess what? You're a better company and a better corporation because of it.
100%. I completely agree with you. That's how I base everything. So tell us, can you believe we've been talking for almost 45 minutes? It goes by so fast. It goes by when you're having fun. Any last takeaways for newer business owners? Things, books, resources, things you want others to know that may help them in business growth?
Yeah, start with a plan and a vision. It's very important to have a vision and then create the plan that's going to get you to that vision. And then it's also important to find those individuals that you know or don't know yet, or that might be in the area that can help you get there. Okay. Don't try to do it completely alone. There's plenty of resources. There's plenty of people that want to help each other. As Rob said, our younger selves were wanting to keep everything to ourselves. But as we get older, we realize our success is not only individual, it's as a group. And especially in healthcare, in the venous world, we want to help each other because there's so many patients that need the treatment. We want to continue to grow this to where everyone can be taken care of. And you can do this, and you have to. There's going to be some bumpy roads, but you have to weather the storm. But have a plan, a vision, and an outreach group to help you through those tough times.
Absolutely. I love those takeaways. Okay, Sharky, you're up.
All right. So I think one thing you have to do is write it down. So if you're wanting to start a business, write the outline. The next day, rip it up, write the outline that you wrote the day before, add to it. Do it for 14 days. That one piece of paper will turn into 10 pieces of paper. Now you've got something you can play with. And as you keep looking at that, then you can move forward step by step by step. It doesn't take 5 years to start a business. but it doesn't take one day to start a business either. You can't wake up one morning. I mean, we're not running in fairy tale land. You can't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to start a business, and then you go to work, you quit, and the next day you start the business, and bam, the money starts flowing through. It doesn't happen like that. You've got a plan, but once again, that plan doesn't need to be long term.
Right.
That you just have to keep writing it down. I can't tell you, I've got notebooks after notebooks after notebooks of things I've added. I keep adding. One of the girls makes fun of me. I've got a box underneath my desk with about 15 legal pads, and they're all folded over. And occasionally, when I'm sitting here and I want to think about something, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I wrote that down somewhere. I've got legal pads I'm going back to. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I think writing things down, keeping it focused, knowing that if that's what you want to do, write it down and add to it and add to it and add to it. Your dream will happen, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
Right. Good. I love it. All right. So where can people learn more about you and your business? Doctor, I'll have you go first. Tell everybody your full name, business name, and where they can find you.
Sure. I'm Dr. Satish Vayavegla. The business is Vein and Wellness Centers of Texas. And remember, healthy feels good, a little tagline. And our website is veinandwellnesscenters.com.
Great. Thank you so much. Sharky, what about you?
On LinkedIn, it's under Rob Ashmore, and it's with TexasMobileWoundCare.com. And then for the advertising side, it's umgadvertising.com. And you can find us both there. You can find me. I say us both. The left side of my brain is with UMG. The right side of my brain is with Texas Mobile Wound Care. So either place.
Great. Well, it was great to have you on. I appreciate all your insights, and I think it will really help others who are struggling or feeling like it's just them. We hope today's conversation has sparked ideas for how you can grow, streamline, and or scale your business. And no, you don't have to do it alone. At KLM Consulting, Marketing, and Management, we specialize in helping business owners like you simplify operations, improve marketing strategies, and build strong partnerships so you can focus on what you do best. And if you're looking to delegate or automate tasks, our KLM team can help you free up time and reduce stress. You've been listening to Collaborative Connections with Kelly Lorenzen. Remember, do what you love and outsource everything else. Until next time, happy connecting.